It's been 11 years and my Panasonic microwave has just stopped working. It's, well, the microwave anyway, because it's a combi oven and the convection fan and the grill oven will probably still both work. This is one of the NN series and it was really good, and I think it was probably me that killed it really, in a sort of misuse in a way. I'll just talk about it in general. I mean, it was a real workhorse and that, so for microwaving, yeah, it was fine. It's got inverter technology. I think these NN for the Panasonic, that means that they've got inverter technology. And the CT, I think that means countertop. It seems that NN doesn't mean anything, I was trying to find out, but it doesn't, it looks like it doesn't mean anything. And CT might mean countertop, and I was just looking at Google Gemini. Possibly this is the country, and so the UK would be W apparently, because I thought America might be, I don't know, USA, but it says something like P for America, so I'm guessing W is Britain. Since this is like 11 years old, I thought it might not be available anymore. I think they're on to the 56. This would be the comparable one for this now, but still, you can get the NN-CT range. They've got quite a few range in it. I think most of them, it's inverter technology, I think, is the main thing that they've got in common. Also, I'm guessing they're probably in slimline combi as well in the design. One thing that annoyed me about this was having to open the closed door like that, Well, opening it like that, it's just a bit of a nuisance. So I think in my new one, I'll get one with a handle or a drop down. Probably drop down. Also, I thought I would prefer, buttons like this, but I think I actually prefer a dial, at least, because most of the time I use it manually anyway. So, dial for you doing your time, So, well, maybe look out for dials. Maybe you can't get dials anymore, but on the good ones. But it'll need to be digital, I would never go back to sort of that ticker thing. One fantastic thing about this, and actually at the time, it was the main reason for buying it, and also hardly any of the competitors had a plate of this size. This is 34 centimeters diameter. Yeah, it's about 34 centimeters in diameter, maybe about 33 you can use, and there's very few with a turntable that size. And this, actually, every site that sells things should tell you the size of the turntable plate, because this is the space you've got really. Maybe about 32 centimeters, which is, well, nearly 13 inches. And my main reason was to fit a pizza, 12-inch pizza. Which it did, and the idea was that I would use the convection oven, the fan oven, convection, and that's how I would heat my pizza. But the way it is, the fan oven is only half across here, and it's only at the top, it's not underneath, so it was always really getting grilled really in a way. And even though the difference between the grill and the oven is basically the oven uses a fan as well to fan it, but it was always burnt on top and cold in the middle, and underneath it wasn't cooked the way I wanted. I've heard that the newer ones, or I don't know about Panasonic, but you can get ones now where the convection heat comes from underneath as well. And I don't know if Panasonic are still using this sort of half across for the convection oven and the grill, But that for me meant there was a bit in the middle that was always cold. There I've got a bit of burnt food there. I wonder if that had anything to do with my thing failing. I don't know. Yeah, I think the grill and the oven are using the same heating element, I think the difference is that for the oven it uses a fan as well. The magnetron's probably gone in this, by the way, so it doesn't work as a microwave oven, but I can use the other two, I suppose, while I try and get a new one, so I can still use the grill and the convection oven, I would guess, fan oven. And apparently a new innovation is flatbed things where you don't need a turntable. You just put your stuff in and there's no turntable. It just stays still and it gives you more space. So I'll probably get a flatbed, I think, as my new one. These wheels, I think maybe one came off, but I could put it back on, so it was never really a problem. They seem to still be working okay. Yeah, sorry. I mean, one fantastic thing about this is the space. As it says, it's slimline, so outside it's not that big. You've not got a big massive bit at the back to vent, but although it has got a vent at the back, but it's a sort of flat design. So it was really good, and then the countertop, and inside there was a lot of space. Like I say, probably 33 centimeters of space, you know, to put stuff on. Yeah, and that's what the back looks like. It's a sort of flat at the back, so you can sort of get it right in pretty good. I mean, to me, fitting a 12-inch pizza in there, it's the basic need, and also it's got to be a combination, a 3-in-1. You can get 4-in-1s now, so I'll be looking at that. This time when I do my searches, I'll be using Google Gemini, Grok, you know, the AI search engines, because I think that will really, really help me, like 80% of the help, because I still find that the websites, even Amazon and the likes, they're not good enough to make a decision on, you know. A lot of times I've not got facts that I want. Like I say, I think turntable is one of the obvious things that we really need, because that's really how much width you've got to put stuff on, you know, or space. So without knowing the turntable size, you really don't know a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think microwaves, they could go on for decades now, but this one, 11 years, it cost me about £200 at the time, so that's like £18 a year. It's been a real workhorse, so I've not really got any complaints, and I think I probably broke it through misuse, because what I used to do is, at the end, when the fan was going on, say for 5 minutes after you've cooked your food, I would switch it off at the mains, and I wonder if that sort of long-term done damage to the circuitry, to the magnetron, or even the magnetron itself. That fan was probably cooling those things down, you know. And then the way well, I've had one where the magnetron broke before. The last one wasn't a Panasonic, and with that, I moved it while the microwave was on. I don't know if that's what caused it, but the magnetron went. You know the magnetron goes because everything's functioning okay, but when you take your food out, it's still frozen, so still cold. So it hasn't heated up at all via the microwave. That's how you know the magnetron or something to do with that circuitry is gone. But don't try and fix it yourself because it's very dangerous. It's got high voltage stuff in there, and it's probably not worth fixing for most of us. It's probably better just getting a new one, especially if, say, if your thing's under £200 and you've had it for longer than, I don't know, 5 years or something, you know. Yeah, for me, and also I want the new technology because I'll probably get a flatbed. I'll probably definitely get a combi oven. You can get 4-in-1s now. I don't know if it's steam or whatever, or air fryer. Some of them do an air fryer function now. So I'm going to get that. These NN ones, I think they're mostly, that's for the inverter technology and the slimline design, and they're probably combis as well, not always, I think. But yeah, the inverter, that's like if you've got a switching a light on and off, you've got on, off, and then you've got variable. Well, the inverter does the same for a microwave. It makes it variable automatically. So it's deciding what's right. Instead of giving it pulse heat, you know, on, off, pulse heat. For microwaving, I'm talking about. For the microwaving, it's varying it all the time so that it's meant to heat it up quicker than that. I've seen other channels that have said it's heated up quicker. I don't know, but I think it's a good idea. I think CT means countertop, although I don't know. And I think this is just to do with size in some way. I'm not sure. Is it sort of? I don't even want to guess. But I've seen ones at 38. I've seen a 38, a 65. You know, if so, I'll need to check all that out. I'll probably make another video about how I'm making a decision. I never used most of them, most of the things. I just usually done manual, but I've not got any complaints about it. It was a real power horse. I was really using it for a lot of things. I was even using it to heat up water for making coffee and stuff. So I was basically using it as a kettle in the end as well. Whether that had some, you know, that might have been misuse, I don't know. You're not meant to do that apparently in a microwave, although it makes sense to me. Like Yeah, I've not really got any complaints about it. Really, it was a real workhorse, and I was using it all the time. And like I say, I was switching it off in the end before the fan had run its full cycle, so maybe that had something to do with it finishing. This one's 1 kilowatt. I don't know. I think new ones you can get 1.2 kilowatts. I don't know how important that is, really. I think all these models might be slimline combi as well, but you need to check. I'm talking about the NN models for Panasonic. I mean, it is literally really just a rectangle, which is what you want, there's no big bits at the back or anything hanging it. I wonder even if this dust had anything to do with overheating or something, but I think the magnetron is in there on the side with the dial, with all the menu stuff, but I don't think so. I think it was probably maybe switching the fan off too early. But I'm looking at the equivalents now, and there's still about £225, £200. When you're buying a microwave, I would use the Keep It app on Amazon, because whenever Amazon sell microwaves cheap, all the other all the other shops seem to follow Amazon, and you can get maybe a third off the RRP during sales times during the year, and you may be talking 2 or 3 times a year. So if that's important to you, you could save quite a big. But at the moment, this is about £225. I would say the equivalent of it for this. I mean, for me, I'll probably buy a flatbed this time. I don't know whether they're a big improvement in the sense that they'll take over completely the market. I don't know. I asked Gemini and it said, well, it doesn't know yet, although it's growing, the flatbed thing. I don't know if there's a big technological advancement, but yeah, I'll probably go that way myself. I think flatbed was around 10 years ago, but maybe it's a bit dearer. But I've no complaints about this at all, really, apart from the convection fan oven being halfway up top. If the new ones get a convection fan underneath as well, I'll be looking out for that. The things I'll be looking out for is, for me, probably I'll go for a flatbed. I don't know, I'm not sure about that. I go for a combi oven, 3-in-1, 4-in-1, because it just makes it so handy, I think now they've added sort of air fryers to them quite often, which are really just convection fan ovens, really. So I don't know how that's going to differ from a convection oven, which they already put in it. But convection oven, maybe nowadays I've heard they can be from underneath as well as on top, which would be very, very useful. So I'm going to look out for that as well. And for me, the other main things is turntable. Can I fit a 12-inch pizza into it, basically? That's what I'm looking for. Flatbeds, I'll find out how much space is. But for a turntable, you would need a sort of 34cm turntable you want to fit a pizza in. Yeah, a 12-inch pizza I'm talking about. So for me, the 38 will probably be too small in size, but probably around the 56 or something. But I'll look at the competition as well this time. I saw a flatbed one where you pull the thing down like that. I'm probably going to go for that, I like that idea. You just pull it down. And these NN ones have got inverter technology, which is maybe heat stuff up quicker. So yeah, I've no complaints. I mean, the other things that I think might have killed off my magnetron, or the circuitry to do with it, like the capacitor or the diode or whatever it is. What else is to do with the microwaving? I mean, the magnetron creates the microwaves. Usually that's what burns it. It will goes faulty, I think, and you might get a burning smell, like burning food, and it won't be enough to set your smoke alarm off. Probably it'll just burn out, like a fuse burns out, really. Yeah, you'll just know, because even though your microwave seems to be still fully working, it just doesn't heat up at all. Microwave, I mean, because if you can probably still use your convection oven and grill and that, but not the microwave. So if you've only got a microwave, no other combi function, then once the microwave goes, that's it, really. It'll just be cold. So yeah, the only other things I can think of, I started adding oil to my things that I was putting in my Systema cups, with the lid on. So maybe it made an oily atmosphere, which maybe short-circuited the board or something. I don't think so, though. And the other things is overspills sometimes. Recently I've done quite a few overspills, And like I say, I started heating water in it quite a lot. Maybe it made the place very humid, I don't know, but 11 years, I can't complain really, you know. Only cost about £200, and the new one's going to be around about the same as well, maybe even cheaper on a sale, you know, so I've no complaints really. Alright, that's it, goodbye and all that. Farewell. I'll probably make a video of me looking at Google Gemini for the new one. I can't overstate how important Google Gemini and AI search engines are for reading about this, because I've learnt so much through it. I only really started using AI search around about 2 months ago. I hardly use Google search now, you know, because I'm getting fantastic answers. Anyone who's not using AI searches yet, you really should, whether it's Google Gemini or Grok or ChatGPT or whatever, because you'll learn probably everything that you need to know. It's actually the way we thought the internet was going to be at the start, but of course it was totally confusing, and it still was until we got this AI search engines. You know, it's like Ask Jeeves, except they actually give you the answer you want, you know, rather than messing about. So yeah, that's what I'll do.